Thank you very much for joining us on this webinar. We are going to speak about the ways of investing in Spain. This webinar is being broadcasted in several social media outlets, so I recommend you to send us an email at info@bvilc.com, which is the same email in which you received the invitation for this webinar if you have any questions. Also, if you happen to be on Zoom or on LinkedIn, even on Instagram, feel free to send us your questions on the comments, and we will do our best to reply to them as we are live. We're going to be here for 20 minutes or half an hour. So I recommend that you start sending your questions right away so we can make sure to address them before we end the webinar. Nevertheless, if by the time that we finish the webinar we have not addressed your question, again, feel free to send us an email at info@bvilc.com, and we will be happy to make sure to address them. Even though the intention is that we fully and completely reply to your inquiries while we're here live. Well, please allow me to first introduce myself. My name is Adriana María Barba. I'm a dual degree attorney with license to practice both in Spain and Europe. And in the United States, I'm licensed by the New York Bar. I've moved to Spain 12 years ago. Lord, time flies. I moved to Spain 12 years ago after practicing in the US, and I don't regret from one moment the decision of moving here, creating my business here, and eventually I became also a citizen of this country. So since I've been so happy living here and making the move, it is now my life's purpose through my firm, and using the experience and knowledge that we have to accompany you on making the move to Spain, or to take care of any legal needs according to your interest that you have in Spain. Vázquez & Barba International Legal Consultants, which is the law firm and real estate agency that I manage along with my partner Manuel Vázquez, has been recognized since its foundation as one of the best new law firms in Spain. Again, the purpose of our firm is to accompany people mainly from the United States, although we have clients from other parts of the world, to come to Spain and make their wish to live a Mediterranean lifestyle a reality. We can do that from the very beginning or step by step. So today, I'm going to explain to you all the different ways in which you can invest in Spain and which of those investments qualify you either for a resident card or for citizenship. Let us start by discussing real estate investment. Spain is situated in the southwestern of Europe and is regarded as one of the world's most popular holiday destination, and that is no coincidence. We have just during this month, the month of August, I think in Barcelona we have over 2 million visitors. It is a vibrant country. It has majestic landscapes and excellent quality of life, only second to Japan. And Japan doesn't offer immigration or options as Spain does. So it's actually the best country for quality of life in which you can make the move. Since it is a peninsula, it has had the influx of several cultures since its inception, since before even it was a unified country as Spain, and that makes it very culturally diverse, and with several unique cultures and traditions. Again, Spain is a full member of the European Union and the Eurozone, which becomes very significant in terms of movement throughout the Union, and in the case that your objective is to have a business here or a company here. So let's start by the cases of residence by investment in real estate. You can invest in real estate as a foreigner in Spain in any type of real estate property, either commercial or residential, and for any value. There are some other jurisdictions that only allow nationals to invest in real estate, to acquire real estate, or to acquire for a foreigner to acquire real estate in a joint venture with a national of the country. That is not the case in Spain. In Spain, as a fully international investor, you can invest in any type of real estate. And that investment can be either in a city, in the country, and for any amount of money. We have several clients that, as part of their retirement funds, invest in apartments of less of 100,000 euros. And at least in Barcelona, but I will be happy to discuss with you in any other cities or areas of the country, they receive approximately between a 3 or a 5% return of their investment renting the property yearly. They're in main cities in Spain, unless the property that you acquire already has a touristic license, it's very difficult to acquire a new touristic license. This touristic license is required to rent the property on a short-term basis, meaning cases like Airbnb, which will give you more work and a higher rentability, but you will have to acquire the property with their touristic license from the beginning, because as of right now, I will be lying to you if I were to say that they are easy to obtain. There are some properties that have them and they sell them with it, but not all of them do. So this is in the case in which you want to protect a part of your assets and you want to have them in Spain. And you want to invest in real estate. Our firm is not only a law firm, as I mentioned at the beginning, but we are also a real estate agency. So we can assist you not only with the purchase of the property, but with the management of the property. You will always, since my partner communicates directly with all Spanish-speaking clients. So in this case, I was going to say that you will always speak with one of the managing directors. But in this case, since I'm speaking to an English-speaking audience, you will always deal with me directly. We have a whole team of other lawyers, senior and junior in different areas of the law, or real estate agents, and since we manage properties, also we have contacts with the architecture and let's say maintenance work in case it is required. But regardless of the issue that you have with your property, you will always speak to me directly, and the emails that you will receive from our firm will always come from me. I will take care of the coordination of everything that is necessary to solve any of your issues, but you will always have one interlocutor, that in this case it will be me. So part of the reasons why we do these webinars is because we want to create relationships with you. And well, you need to make sure that we like each other, because we will, if you enter into an investment in Spain, you will be speaking with me about all the issues regarding your property. Now, this is the case in which you just want to have part of your assets in Spain, or in which you don't have the sufficient amount of funds to obtain residence in Spain through real estate investment. In order to obtain residence in Spain through real estate investment, the investment has to be of at least €500,000. This €500,000 can be invested in either one or several properties, and they can also be of commercial or residential nature. So we have clients that, let's say, they purchase their dream apartment for €200,000, and then they purchase a parking lot, or a store, or a smaller or bigger apartment, and then they get rentability from one of the properties, and then they have the other one for their personal use. That is a possibility too. So the investment doesn't have to be in just one property. The €500,000 have to be without financing. You can finance the exceeding part of the value of the property if, let's say, that the property that you find is €650,000, you can only finance in Spain €150,000. In order for you to be considered an investor, you need to bring to Spain without financing $500,000. Once you make this investment, not only you, but your significant other and your dependents will be receiving Spanish residence also. If you happen to have a passport from a country that was a former territory of Spain, meaning Latin America or the Philippines, after 2 years of keeping this residence permit, you can apply for citizenship. You and your family can apply for citizenship. There is a great advantage of obtaining residence by investment, and is that in any other kind of residence permit, in order to maintain your resident status, you have to be within Spanish territory at least 183 days out of the calendar year. When you obtain residence by investment, this requisite is eliminated. You only have to come to Spain, I think it's once a year, if you don't want to apply for residency. Once a year if you apply from outside Spain in order to renew your resident card. So you could continue to live in your home country while maintaining resident status in Spain, as long as you maintain the investment. This makes it very easy. This facilitates things for persons who come in and out of the country several times, or that because of work or whichever reason have to travel around the world a lot. And at the same time, if you maintain permanent residency, you continue to accrue years to, at some point in the future, in the case of persons with United States passports, in 10 years, apply for citizenship in Spain. This is commonly known as the Golden Visa program, and is the start service of our firm. But there are also ways to invest in Spain as an entrepreneur. Recently in Spain, and when I say recently, I mean January this year, Spain approved, and actually it's an update of a previous legislation that allows highly qualified professionals to move to Spain in different capacities. If you are an employee of a country of a company that in a country that is not Spain, and your salary is above 3,000 euros, you can apply to become a digital nomad in Spain. This means that your company has to certify that the employment that you perform for that company can be complete fully remotely, with a couple of requisites more, meaning health insurance, an FBI background check, or a criminal background check, depending on your country of origin. A letter from your company saying that your task, that the task that you perform at that company can be fully complete remotely. And as long as the company has been established from over a year and your working relationship with the company is of over 3 months, you can move to Spain to work remotely for the same company that you worked abroad while in Spain. That will grant you a resident card that for this one you will have to stay 183 days out of the year here in Spain. And in addition to that, since your funds will be coming from outside Spain, you will be receive preferential tax treatment. Your taxes in Spain will be reduced. And in many cases, depending on the country where you're from, there are agreements to avoid dual taxation. So if that is the case in your country, we will have to create a tax scenario that will have you paying taxes in just one country, but then declaring taxes on both. But that is a possibility if these agreements exist. I specialize in international taxation, so this is part of the apart from being the managing partner, as most of my legal work is focused on this part, in making sure that our clients are paying the most favorable taxes wherever they're obligated to pay taxes, but fulfilling all their fiscal obligations. So we have talked about investment in Spain in real estate without obtaining a resident card, in real estate but obtaining a resident card, which is commonly known as the golden visa. And we started with entrepreneurs, starting with digital nomads. But what happens when you're not an employee, but you have your own company, or you want to create your own company in Spain? When you create your own, there are two options. You can either have your own company abroad and then prove that you are the owner of the company, that you have revenue as a salary for yourself of over 3,000 euros, and that you can complete the work that you perform in your company fully remotely. If you fulfill these requisites, then you can come to Spain working for your own company that is established abroad, but as a digital nomad in Spain. In this case, there is a restriction that needs to be taken into account, which is that since you're in Spain, it will be logical that you acquire some business in Spain. But then in order to maintain the digital nomad status and the reduced tax privilege that you will have, no more than 20% of your business can be originated in Spain. So if your company is created abroad and you want to continue to perform that work, but while working remotely in Spain, no more than 20% of your business can be originated in Spain, and this will also grant you digital nomad status. Now, there is a second visa for entrepreneurs, a second residence permit for entrepreneurs, and this is when you create a company in Spain. Now, the process of creating a company in Spain is significantly longer than in most jurisdictions, I should say. And This is not the case when it is a Spanish person creating a company in Spain. The process becomes longer because if the person creating the company in Spain is a foreigner, because we have to start by obtaining documentation that persons who are already residents of citizen in Spain already have, meaning ID documents, bank accounts, registration with the social security system, registration with the tax agency. So all this preliminary work that usually a person that is not from Spain doesn't have, we have to do in order to have a company fully operational in Spain. Approximately, in our experience, this process takes 6 to 8 months, just the process of creating the company and have it fully operational. We can do the process through power of attorney. You grant us power of attorney, we obtain your ID number, we obtain the name of the company, we open a bank account in the name of the company, then we obtain a certificate of deposit saying that you have deposited the social capital required to open a company in Spain in that bank account that is in the name of the company. By the way, the minimum social capital to open a company in Spain is 3,000 euros. Then we take all those documents and also redacting the corporate bylaws for you to a notary on your behalf, and then the notary forwards those documents to the company's register, and then you get your certificate of incorporation. This is the process that, in a very summarized way, takes for a foreigner approximately 6 to 8 months, but we can do it completely through power of attorney. You don't have to set foot in Spain in order to create a company in Spain, which is a great advantage. And also in Spain, a company can be formed by a foreigner without having the association of a Spanish national, which is the regulation in several jurisdictions. In Spain, a company can be fully created by foreign citizens. If this company is, and this is the term that the law uses, of interest to the Spanish economy, then the company, the administrator of the company, and which could be up to 3, can obtain a residence permit in order to come and operate the company that they have created in Spain. The issue becomes the definition of what is a company that is of interest to the Spanish economy. As I mentioned to you in the beginning, one of the things that make Spain so special is that one of the preferred vacation destinations of the world. So all the companies associated to the hospitality business are already created in Spain. They are not of interest to the Spanish economy because we already have plenty of restaurants, we already have plenty of hotels, we already have plenty of bars and discos and anything that is associated to the hospitality business. What is actually of interest to the Spanish economy? Companies that incorporate new technologies to their form of making business. For example, I had a client who was a fashion designer, but she was working only with recycled material. There is a department of the Ministry of Justice, which is the one that is in charge of certifying whether the company is of interest to the Spanish economy or not. We drafted the business plan for her company in a way that we made sure that satisfied this criteria. That was her business. Because she used recycled materials, it was considered of interest to the Spanish economy. So it goes in terms of renewable materials, new types of using energy, incorporation of new technologies. We also had the creators of an app that they had already created an app in Mexico, and they wanted to replicate that app for the European market. So it has to be something that is innovative in order to qualify as of interest to the Spanish economy. Once the company is created, we create that business plan and present it to the Ministry of Interior, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we present it to the ministry, and we have the certification. It is actually a report that the company is of interest to the Spanish economy. Then, in your home country, in the consulate of Spain, you come in with all this documentation and apply for a visa as an entrepreneur. Dear Consul, I have created a company in Spain. The company is considered of interest to the Spanish economy. I want to move to Spain to operate the company that I created. This work permit, as I said, allows you to have 2 partners, meaning 3 administrators per company. And this means that each one of them has to invest 1,000 euros in order to meet the minimum social capital, in order to have an equitable part on the newly created company. So we have spoken about residence by investment, which is the €500,000 one. In real estate, investment in real estate, just plain and simple, just because you want to have some part of your patrimony here in Spain and want to make use of the financial stability and the judicial security of Europe that we have here in Spain. Spain is visited by millions of tourists annually, so you know that you will have a property that will always be rented here in Spain. We have spoken about digital nomads, both as employees of a foreign company or as the owner of your own company. And we have spoken about entrepreneurs that create companies that are of interest for the Spanish economy. There are other ways that you can invest in Spain, but as I promised, and in respect for your time and yours, we were going to be here for a half an hour. So I hope that this was informational to you, that I somewhat liked you, because if you work with, or when you start working with us, you will always be interacting with me. I will be more than happy to reply to any additional questions. I'm actually giving these 2 minutes to close to see if I receive any questions that you may have. As I mentioned to you, I'm licensed both in the US. So if you are from the US, I fully speak your language and understand the legal system that you're coming from. And I'm fully licensed here in Spain. I'm also specialized in international taxation, so we will make sure that whatever investment you make will be taxed in the way that is more favorable to you. And I also, and with a lot of humility, but only to put this at your service, have been ranked as one of the best lawyers in Spain to advise in real estate transactions and for international taxation. So, as I said at the beginning, I have made it my life purpose, since I'm so happy since I made the decision to move to Spain, create my own company, and make the reality of living in this part of the world a dream come true to me. I want to accompany you in making it a dream come true to you too, and to your family if you decide to come with your significant other or your dependents. I remain fully at your service for any inquiries. Please contact me at info@bbilc.com, which is the same email in which you received the invitation for this webinar, and I will be happy to take this conversation further. Without anything else, I have not received any. I'm looking at the several screens that I have here. I have not received any questions, so I look forward to hear from you, to speak with you again, and to start a relationship with you that will have you coming to Spain, or at least visiting as a resident, and start the path for your citizenship here. Have a great afternoon. Oh, okay, we have a question here. As a retiree, that means over the 3,000. Will that vehicle allow me to meet the business regulation? Great question. There is an other option, but I didn't mention it in this webinar because it's not specifically investment. But I'll be more than happy to explain it to you. There is an option for retirees or persons that have a steady amount of income, and that is commonly known as the non-lucrative visa, meaning that you come to Spain to enjoy the retirement or the income that you already have from other sources. The restriction for this visa, as the name says, is that you will not be able to apply for a work permit in Spain. So it was specifically designed for retirees. Actually, my mother acquired residence in that way several years ago. You only have to prove that you have this steady amount of income. It can either be from a retirement or from dividends that you get from a company, any type of income that is recurrent and that you can prove that that every month you receive this amount that will allow you to live in Spain. This also extends to your significant other and to your dependents. This is calculated, the monthly amount that is required to qualify for this visa is calculated by an indicator that is, its acronym is IPREM, IPREM. And it's basically the minimum salary. You will have to have a percentage of the minimum salary. You will have to have 400% of IPREM, which this year translates to something, the numbers escape me, I'm a lawyer because I'm not good with numbers, but it translates to something of 2,700 euros. So the amount that the person, since this webinar is recorded and is going to stay on social media platforms, I try to not identify the person or the amounts that were given to me on the question, but the amount that the person who asked the question actually qualifies you for a non-lucrative visa. Now, if you have dependents, then we will have to add, and it's a sliding scale. Depending if you come with a significant other, you will have to come with somebody else. You will have to add something to that amount. And then if you have dependents, you will have to add a little bit more. But it's 400, I told you I was not good with numbers. It's 400% of the IPREM, and this year is something about approximately 2,700 euros. So you will qualify for the non-lucrative visa, and I only didn't touch the topic on this webinar originally because the title of this webinar was investment, but it's definitely a service that we provide in the office. I see that we have another question. Yes, the question is that considering that you already have that amount of income, if you will want to do it because you want to have a work permit, I assume, as you also want to receive that income but work in Spain, it will allow you to apply for that digital nomad visa. The digital nomad visa, now that we're speaking a little bit more about it, has a great advantage. Since it was newly created in January, it allowed for persons who are in Spain, who are already in Spain, to apply for that visa. So what we're doing, and many of the lawyers that provide this service are doing it the same way. As a foreigner visitor, you have 90 days to visit Spain as a tourist. So what we do is that we prepare all your documentation to apply for the digital nomad visa prior to coming to Spain. Then you purchase your ticket as if you were just visiting, you enter Spain, and then we apply the day after you enter. If you apply while in Spain, your work permit is valid for 3 years. And by law, the administration has a month to reply to your application. So the 90-day window that you have as a tourist gives us ample time for you to maintain your legal status current as we do the application. Because you have, let's put it this way, you have 90 days of legality, but in about a month and a half, you will change your tourist status from a resident status, and then from that moment on, you'll be able to stay 3 years in Spain. I see. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I do see that we don't have any more questions. Again, any additional inquiries, I'll be happy to reply to them at info@bbilc.com. I urge you to visit our page, to visit our social media outlets. I want you to be confident on the kind of service that you will be receiving while you hire us, and I look forward to accompanying you in the path of moving to Spain. Speak to you soon. We will have another webinar next Tuesday. We're conducting webinars every Tuesday at the same time. I look forward to hear from you again. Bye.